2 of a practice game for the tournament. The first game was me trying to get at all the kinks of and wrongness of my stream. Get at all the kinks of
Failed Mr. Blue, by the
wrongness
way.
of my stream. So now we're just waiting for both players to load in. So one side is Jesus is Lord. He's playing as the Wood Elves. And the other player is Wamboozled. And I believe he's playing Tomb Kings.
I think that's what he was playing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And with me, spectating with me and streaming with me is Jerry.
Howdy, howdy.
How's it going there, Jerry?
We're going all right. We're gonna see if the Tomb Kings can pull out a win against some Wood Elves.
So Tomb Kings is fairly standard. They got their some scaly warriors, some scaly spearmen. Got a tomb tomb prince, a liche priest, and Arcan the Black.
Now I'm telling you though, those Wood Elves, them Wood Elves can definitely do some real damage.
They got a lot of ranged.
They do, and I think that'll be good because he has a lot of range against the Tomb Kings who have a vast superior numbers. Right now, the Tomb Kings have a numerical advantage, but I think that range is going to play an advantage for the Wood Elves.
Yeah, I do think so too. The Tomb Kings, they don't have more range, and they don't have any units to get to the back line. So, unless the Tomb Kings can make the Wood Elves' front line break and make their ranged units retreat, I don't see how the Tomb Kings can come to this. But
well, they don't even have the good artillery unit of the Tomb Kings either. You know, they have the screaming catapults, not the what is it called? I can't exactly remember the name of the other artillery unit, but they don't have the. I don't think they have the good artillery piece.
To be honest, though, I do think screaming catapults are pretty decent when they can actually get off all their ammo. But they do have some Ushabti great bows. I only see one,
which is good.
So that'll be extremely well.
That first strike against the Wizard with the Wood Elves artillery already took down.
That's a lot of health from Arcan the Black.
A quarter health.
Yeah.
A quarter health already down from just one artillery barrage, if that was artillery. I do believe it was actually his.
I do think it was an ability from the Glade Lord.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I think it was.
Yes, it was. Or the Waystalker, one of the two.
One of the two.
But both armies are staring each other down so far. The Wood Elves moving their cavalry into a better position. All over there on the left flank.
Now, personally, I think that just because Wamboozle doesn't know what exactly the Wood Elves have, because he's got majority of his units hidden.
Yeah, that is true.
Now, I think that it would be a good time to actually push on one of either the left or the right side, commit his whole force to one of the sides.
Okay.
But I still don't know. I mean, with all that range he's got, I don't think Wamboozle can pull out a victory on this.
You don't think
so? Because
then
the second he gets close, the Wood Elves' range units are going to decimate him. I mean, elves in general have good range units.
Yeah, that is true. And not to mention, if the Tomb Kings can use their Tomb Guards with halberds to effectively protect the catapults, they can effectively outrange the Wood Elf range units. But there's just so many of them.
Well, right now, because it appears that nobody wants to commit to an actual attack, looks like we're just staring each other down.
The first volley against the Wood Elf Lords have all missed.
Missed.
I'm sure he's gonna put his catapult on hold fire stance to not waste any more ammo.
Well, it looks like he actually told them to attack. He force attacked because his artillery units weren't even shooting to begin with, and you know his catapults they have a 380 range, so.
We see some.
They were well within range to begin with.
We see some movement by the Glade Lord and the Waystalker. I wonder what he's doing with his priest. maybe getting some nets in position, but it's pretty weird to have one net on a
Yeah.
infantry hero. You would think he would want to put him on some type of range, like a mount to net some cavalry if need be.
Well, no, one thing's for sure. They need to, commit to either one of them needs to attack and one of them needs to defend.
Yeah, that is true. The Tomb King player definitely needs to make something happen here because
Now, that Leech Priest is almost dead just from the two lords.
yeah.
Look at that.
How much health is he missing? Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of health.
He's
missing.
already down below half. I'm sorry, below half. Just for y'all know that are in the stream and whatnot, I have trouble speaking, so I may pronounce something wrong. Just bear with me. I try. I believe I have a speech impediment.
Yeah,
never got tested, but it sucks.
It's that southern genes for you there, dude.
Yes, most definitely.
It's okay. We all love you the same.
I guess.
The Ushabti are firing, so the Wood Elves player
They're firing,
knows
but
that
they're not
there.
doing any damage whatsoever.
Look at these guys. They look so cool.
They do.
No matter what you can do to a Ushabti, they will always be shooting their bows, smacking people with the bows with a smile on their face.
Now look, they're sending out the same. The Ushabti are shooting the two lords right there, and still they haven't managed to take down any health against the lords.
Oh, here
at
comes
all.
a net. There's a net on the Glade Lord. He's moving in Arcan and spawning some zombies. Some Wood Elf archers have commenced firing on the zombies. Oh, that was a good arrow.
That was. Now, if Jesus is Lord does lose his Lord here, it will be a major morale defeat for his army.
Yeah, that is true.
He can't afford to lose his Lord at this current moment so early in the battle.
Yeah.
Especially when he hasn't even committed the rest of his forces to the fight.
Right now he is in retreat. He's white flagged, and the Tomb King front line has been given the order to advance, probably to protect his light mage.
Yeah.
So Wood Elf infantry has commenced firing so far on the Tomb Prince right there. The Ushabti still hammering away at his Glade Lord.
His Waste Stalker is managing to hold off those little zombies, but them zombies are. Looks like the zombies are dying. Yep, they are.
The summon only lasts a couple.
16 or 60 seconds, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. More than a couple seconds. But those Skelly Warriors, though, they're gonna face the full brunt of some Wood Elf arrows.
They are. If Jesus is Lord, can protect at least defend his front line enough, at least for the range to do their job, he'll be able to pull this out. And like I was saying before, elves are more of a defensive faction, and it looks to me as if he built more defensively.
Wood Elf's definitely got some attacking units, but it does look like the build that is current on the battlefield is, yes, a lot more of a defensive build.
He built more defensively. I mean, he has really no swordsmen for attack. He doesn't really have anything. It's all spearmen and ranged. So he's trying to take advantage on the elves' ranged units and trying to see if he can pull a victory from just ranged unit and defending only.
Thankfully for the Wood Elves, the arrows, the poison arrows, slow down the already slow skeleton warriors. So by the time they even get to the tree line, they're already weak binding. Already critical binding.
They are. He definitely has a good build for this faction to face this faction.
Yeah, definitely the draft a huge decider in this battle. Both armies not taking mixed armies or balanced armies, going full on defensive and I would say full on melee.
That's a good strategy, you know. If you see, when looking at the opposite faction, you can kind of tell. Tomb Kings are more built for a offensive composition, whereas Wood Elves are more built for a defensive composition.
Yeah, true.
But it is a good draft on Jesus' Lord's part to build the way he did.
Oh yeah, and I don't know if it's a good decision on the part of the Tomb Kings, but to send his skeleton warriors with no cover and no reinforcements is kind of sending his 5 units to death.
Yeah, and that's going to be a deciding factor with him later because, you know, he needs... Now it's getting to the point where the Wood Elves can go on the offensive with their defensive units.
Yeah, true.
Because now he's evening the numbers currently.
The troop count for both sides is stabilized a lot more than it used to.
Yes.
The Wood Elves, who started this battle outnumbered, now outnumber the Tomb Kings. So the Tomb Kings are definitely on the back foot here.
Yeah, I believe this is it for the Tomb Kings. They he shouldn't have committed those 5 units without sending in some kind of reinforcements for them, or he should have, when he saw that their binding was starting to weaken, he should have pulled them back so they could regain their binding.
Yeah, I don't see any offensive spells. I don't see chariots. I don't see cavalry. I don't see, you know, I don't see the bread and butter of the Tomb Kings. You don't even see any Necrosphinx or anything of the sort. So,
well, what it really looks like to me is a novice Tomb Kings player. Someone who's very inexperienced with the Tomb Kings faction just decided to he tried to do an outnumbering game, thinking that would work.
Novice. Wow.
A novice.
That's right.
It looks like a very novice.
That's kind of cold.
Novice build. Well, you know, I may not be good at the game, but at least I know if I'm going to build an offensive, you know, I want some monsters and. You know, the artillery
units
is a good
that go when they swing, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
The big muscles.
Yes, definitely. I like the muscles. Now we see over here on the left side of the map, if you're looking from the Tomb King side, sending in his cavalry.
Here comes
He's going to try to hit that artillery from the sides.
Tomb Guards are now going in. They want to slash some Wood Elves. But there's just an overwhelming amount of firepower coming from the Wood Elves.
Now that artillery, those catapults hitting that one ranged unit right there, that was devastating. That would definitely be a morale dampener.
Yeah, those are Glade Guards too, so that's definitely a worthwhile shot.
It doesn't look like Wamboozled is going to respond to the cavalry.
Shopsy got spawned over Way Watchers. That's a very good target there.
Yes.
Yeah, those Ushopties are getting single targeted down by multiple bow and arrow units. So those should be dealt with soon. Here comes some Wood Elf cavalry on Arcan.
That's going to be devastating, because that'll just decimate that Lord right there.
I don't believe that Lord's getting out alive after that one.
No, I don't believe so either. It doesn't look like that he realized that cavalry was coming, to be honest with you.
Oh, is he going to be able to escape with that net, though? I don't think so. I think he's going to die beforehand. He's got 300 health. Yeah, I do believe that's gonna call it for Arcan.
That's a dead Lord.
Yeah, that is definitely a dead Lord. And
that is that's a morale hit for the Tomb King army.
It's minus 16 leadership every time your lord dies at the first minute, and then after the first minute, it's 10 leadership for the rest of the battle. So, and that's devastating for undead units.
Yes, that is devastating. Where they already have poor leadership to begin with.
Yeah, that is true.
So, you know, especially losing those 5 units. Those 5 units that he lost, those definitely would have come in handy in this game. I think if he wouldn't have lost those 5 units, he might have had a chance. But now he doesn't stand a chance. He committed too much too early.
Yeah, I do gotta agree with that one. And just there wasn't enough weapons on the side of the Tomb Kings. The catapults definitely paid for themselves, but there was no cavalry or chariots to hunt down the archers.
Paid for themselves, but one catapult has 92 kills, the other has 79. They haven't even broke triple digits yet. So, you know, even at the unit ratio at this point, Tomb Kings is down 1,300 troops as of this moment, whereas the Wood Elves are only down 500.
Yeah, that's a pretty
Or they're
big
just
difference.
now getting to 500. And majority of the Tomb King's units were chaff to begin with, but you know he just committed them too early. He committed his chaff units too early.
Yeah, definitely have to agree there. And he
has no way to overcome.
He had a mounted lord to go ahead and scout the enemy, but it could have been pretty dangerous if the Wood Elves would have had a net or anything. It would have been a dead lord. So
yeah, it would have been.
I am surprised that he didn't march his full army to the Wood Elf line instead of sending 5 of his chaff units towards the enemy.
Yeah. Well, you could have even sent 1 chaff unit in there to scout, you know? And if you'd have lost 1, that wouldn't have been a major game changer.
That is definitely true. The Waystalker with no ammo now charging into the battle.
Hey, you know, sometimes you just got to commit all your units.
Those Tomb Guards finally getting some value, although they are fighting only Eternal Guards, which are chaff for the Wood Elves.
Yeah, they're getting value, but you know, so far they've only killed what 28. Now they're at 32, and the same for the other one. They haven't even hit 50 yet. So to me, it looks like he's losing more units within that Tomb Guard halberd than he can force, because for one, he's surrounded. He's outnumbered right there.
Yeah.
And he's now outnumbered. A Tomb King with 300 units left out of 1,800, 1,900 units. That's not a valuable army. That's a decimated army right there. Whereas, you know, the Wood Elves have lost 600 units, but they still have majority of their actual whole battalions are still on the field. Whereas the Tomb Kings don't have anything.
Yeah, this battle was definitely decided in the draft.
Definitely in the draft.
The build for the Tomb Kings would have been pretty good if he was fighting the Vampire Coast that don't have range units. But there is the victory. The Wood Elves will take game 2. It is tied for the practice series 1-1. There will be a game 3. So Jesus is Lord cannot play the Wood Elves. And for the first game, what did he go the first game? I wonder.
The first game, I believe he was Vampire Coast.
Yeah, that is correct. He went Vampire Coast, and Wamboozled last game went the Dwarves.
Yes. So now they have to pick 2 completely different factions and redraft a whole nother army.
Yeah. So go ahead and pause on this one, and we'll begin game 3.